Hey guys, in honor of Superman Day, I'd like to show off some of my personal Superman collection that I've been working on pretty much since childhood. A number of things that I've gotten when I was a kid, certain things I've gotten as I've gotten older as an adult. So let me show you guys what I got. So right here, I have one of my first bits of Superman memorabilia. It's obviously the 7-Eleven Slurpee cup from Superman Returns from 2006. My mom got this for me. She used to live literally right down the street from a 7-Eleven. And right as this movie was coming out was when I first really got obsessed with Superman. And so when she knew that, she went down to the 7-Eleven to get this for me. And I've had it pretty much ever since. It used to be at my parents' house when I first moved in with my wife, but I had to take it with me once I moved. And then right here, I got one of my favorite birthday cards that I've ever gotten from my wife. I have some more down here, but there's a reason why this one's my favorite. Because when you click that, you get the classic theme. And then as you move on right here, this is one of my favorite pieces of fandom collection items of anything. So this is obviously from the 40th anniversary of Comic-Con, which was in 2009. It was my first Comic-Con that I had ever been to, and that signature right there is of Lois Lane herself, Margot Kidder. And then as we move on, we have, this isn't anything too special, just a Batman vs. Superman party cup that my wife had gotten me not long after Batman vs. Superman was out. I think this was like the summer that it was out of theaters. I think we got this in like July. It actually used to be my cat's water cup, but we unfortunately don't have that cat anymore, so we're talking about that. And then another thing for my wife is obviously the Action Comics Funko Pop. Action Comics #1. Love this so much. And then this here doesn't necessarily look like a hat that's anything special, but my mom, who unfortunately passed away when I was a teenager, had given this to me. I was maybe like a year or two before she passed away, so honestly holds a lot of sentimental value. My mom was definitely someone who she really helped me like accept that I was a nerd and like she wasn't, like judgmental or anything like that. She actually got me a lot of my nerd stuff when I was a kid, so stuff like this I keep. And then there's like a bunch of nerd stuff in here from Superman that is very, very, sentimental too. So yeah, there's that. And then this right here, I actually just got in Mexico a couple years back when I was on a cruise. Thought it looked cool. I'm sure it was just, it was like a 3D printed scan thing that they just carved out of some sort of like ceramic. Super cheap, nothing official. Obviously, it's essentially like a bootleg kind of thing, but I thought it looked cool, so I got it. And then this patch right here is from back when Funko did their DC Legion of Collectors box. Thought that was really cool. And then got the little Funko Pop Superman keychain. Got the Funko Pop Clark Kent keychain. Action Comics Hot Wheel. Came out not too long ago, I think. And then, so my favorite Funko Pops here, the Christopher Reeve and Margot Kidder flying scene from Superman the movie. Actually, I think they're coming out with new Funko Pops for this series that actually have already started to come out. And then here are some of the Superman cards that my wife has gotten me over the years for various holidays and events. All of them, not just because they're my wife, have a lot of sentimental value, but they're also really cool. Like you flip this one, you get a 3D thing of Metropolis, Superman flying through. So that one's really cool. You got another similar-ish one. I like this one a lot too. Same sort of flying pose that's here, but I still think it's cool. And then you got this one here. It was from when it was my first Father's Day. My wife had gotten it for me, where you pull this and then you get Superman. And then you got this one, which the main thing is just the shirt rip thing here, but also very cool. And then you have this like hardwood cutout Superman card, also very cool. And then this one, very similar to this one here. You open it, and it plays the theme. So all of these have a lot of sentimental value there, and they also look really cool. So definitely not getting rid of those anytime soon. And then we also have, my father-in-law got me this one time. He's kind of like a vintage collector of things. He'll go to like garage sales, estate sales, pawn shops, things like that. And this is something that he found in one of his ventures, where it's a little beanie at the Clark Kent. You flip it down, it has a little eye hole, and then you get Superman's face. I've never seen this before or since, so don't know how rare this item is, but regardless, I think it's really cool. And then down here, I kind of call this my like a Zack Snyder / DCEU little cabinet here. I have pretty much all the McFarlane Justice League figures except a couple of like the variants. So obviously we got Steppenwolf, Jason Momoa's Aquaman, Ben Affleck's Batman, Black Suit Superman, Ezra Miller's Flash, and Ray Fisher's Cyborg. I got this at Comic-Con 2013, and the cool thing is that it's kind of reversible, so I was like almost like the black suit symbol there on the back, which, you know, kind of worked out for when Justice League came out, Zack's version. This was from when they were doing Justice Con. I think I have the badge. That was like the fan Justice League event that they did in 2020. That was all virtual, that Zack attended and his wife attended, and I believe Ray Fisher also attended. It was a really cool thing to experience if you're like part of that fandom. And then I have these cute little Batman Harley Quinn figures. Also this, I really like this. So this isn't DCEU, but if you ever watch Smallville, you had like the Phantom Zone, you know, catcher thing that Clark uses to trap Zod at the beginning of season 6. This is like a reprint of that. Found it online, got it. It wasn't super expensive or anything. And then these, also very important to me. So Zack Snyder had his Full Circle event a couple years back where he hosted screenings of Man of Steel, Batman vs. Superman, and Justice League, and on the Saturday night. So these passes are from opening night of Man of Steel that I saw back in 2013, and I thought these were really cool little collectible tickets, so I kept them all these years. And I wanted something unique to bring to Zack for him to sign if I got the chance to meet him, and so I kept these and brought them. And it's up on my YouTube channel if you want to see the full interaction with Zack and his wife Debbie. So I got them both to sign these. They both thought they were really cool because they haven't seen them since, because they weren't like reproduced or anything. It was just for like a limited like one night screening. Thought those were really cool. Yeah, Lego Zod from Man of Steel, a Legion of Collectors Henry Cavill pin. This is just from a cupcake, and when I used to work on one of my last jobs, one of the girls in the bakery gave this to me because she knew how much I like Superman. That's from an old keychain. And then these are actually some of the Dollar Tree Batman and Cyborg figures. Just thought they were cool to add to the collection. And then, yeah, that was my old keychain that I broke off, but thought, you know, keep for sentimental reasons. And then up here you got my Full Circle event lanyard. Got a couple of them for the 2 different days that I went. And then you got the Zack Snyder's Justice League Funko Pop figures. I tried to get as many of the variants as I could. Like you got back here, you got Darkseid on his throne. I've almost all of the black and white versions except for Darkseid. I did get the Hot Topic Black Suit Superman, and then their common variants there on the bottom. And then this is Black Suit Superman from Man of Steel, out of box. This is the only out of box figure I have, only because I had a friend who lives in Australia who sent me this like 7 or 8 years ago, I want to say. And it was very, very nice of her to send this to me. She sent it to me for free. Like, I didn't have to pay anything for it. She knew how much I liked Funko Pop figures, and for her it was no big deal. This figure, last time I checked, the price was like several $100s. So I'm definitely not getting rid of this anytime soon. I do wish I had the box for it, but otherwise I'm not complaining. And then I have just some little things back here. This photo op thing that I did for it was like a green screen photo op thing at Comic-Con from 2013. And then I have my Batman vs. Superman Ultimate Edition pins from when they did the one night fan screening of the Ultimate Edition back in 2016. And then here are some of my most of my Superman and Batman Funko Pop figures. As you can tell, I'm a big Funko Pop fan. Majority of these are the DCEU versions. I'm a big DCEU fan and Zack Snyder fan. I know that's like blasphemous to say on the internet, but I don't care. So here's like, I kind of kept it in order, like Man of Steel, Batman vs. Superman, some Suicide Squad, and then back there you got Suicide Squad, Wonder Woman, Justice League, Aquaman, Shazam, And then, as you can kind of tell, I stopped collecting figures from the movies, and then I got like individual figures. But yeah, that's what I have so far. So that's all my Superman merch. Again, just in honor of Superman Day. If you guys have any collectible items, let me know. Thanks for watching.